Galaxy S9 versus Galaxy S10. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Welcome to the Galaxy S9 versus the Galaxy S10 comparison. Now, I've had both these phones for quite some time and I got a lot to share with you here. This first area, the S10 is a nice design. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, but it doesn't demolish the S9. I just don't think it does. Now, there is bigger bezels and somehow the Samsung S10 just made the S9's bezels look huge, but they're not actually that huge in reality. When you're actually using the phone, you don't really even notice them. The bezels on here for this device, not quite as symmetrical as the S8, but still more so than the squarish curvish feeling Galaxy S10. I don't even know if curvish is a word, but I just made it up if it isn't. We have aluminum sides here for this device, and on the rear, it's kind of flat. So overall, the Galaxy S9's design is simple. It's not that exciting because the S8 looked almost the same before it, but still the fingerprint is in the right location. And I did like this phone's overall design. It was just nice to use. It's light at 163 grams and it just feels premium. So overall, the Galaxy S9 to me gets a win still in 2019. Is the S10's design better? We have display that goes pretty much all the way to the top, a little cutout here, which I don't really like, but it doesn't bother me too much either. Very thin bezels. So I actually do like the display better for the Galaxy S10 just because the bezels are just so thin and it just really is getting us closer to the dream of an all-screen phone. Now the rear, I do like better in terms of the way the camera looks. Now some people might not like this, but I like that there's no fingerprint sensor there because it just looks cleaner, more minimal here on this phone. I like that it's lighter than the Galaxy S10 or the S9, excuse me. So overall, in terms of design, I do think that you are upgrading coming to the S10, but it's not like if you don't upgrade, you're going to be left behind because the Galaxy S9 still feels very premium. The S10 just looks a little bit more modern. So in terms of the build quality, we have aluminum frame on both of them. So they are equal in build quality. This one just is like a shiny aluminum frame for the S10. So it's kind of more like looking like the iPhone with that stainless steel, but they still used aluminum. On the back, they both do have Gorilla Glass 5. On the front, the S10 improves it with Gorilla Glass 6 versus Gorilla Glass 5 on the front display. So a little bit more less prone to shattering on the S10, but I mean, slightly. They'll both still shatter if you drop them on the right, impact or the right height. They both will still shatter. So in terms of build quality, they're just about identical, to be quite honest, except for that front glass. They both have IP68 dust water resistance, so they're both very good at doing that. Coming to the S10 just feels more like an upgrade in looks versus build quality. So when it comes to the displays, we have a Super AMOLED display here, 1440p for the Galaxy S9. Across a smaller display, you actually get a higher pixels per inch here, 570 ppi here. I actually find the Galaxy S9 to be a little bit more saturated. So if you like those punchy colors, the S9's the better display, I think, for you. If you like more natural colors, the dynamic AMOLED display for the Galaxy S10 is just absolutely gorgeous. If you like color accuracy, if you're into that stuff, it's almost as if Samsung is trying to appeal to iPhone users as well, who typically don't like super saturated colors. And that's why I think a lot of iPhone users are gonna really like the S10 because it has a lot more of a natural look to those colors on it. So if you're into this natural looking thing, you'll love the S10. If you're into punchy, vibrant colors, I think you'll still love the S10 in vivid mode, but the S9's a little bit more vibrant here. Now, when it comes to actually watching videos on the S10, you do get a little bit of a cutout here. So if we go to one of Nick Ackerman's latest videos on the channel, let's go to, let's see, Galaxy S8 versus S10. You'll get a little cutout here, right there. But again, because you have smaller bezels, you still have a more immersive screen experience than the S9. So on the S9, there will be no interruptions when watching video from the top or the bottom. In terms of the actual quality, Samsung's been doing good quality for so long that most consumers are not gonna notice that much of a difference, just besides the fact that it looks more natural for the S10. Now, when it comes to the software on both these devices, they are running the One UI. So in terms of the general look, there's not gonna be that much of a difference at all, but you will see a couple of differences if you dig around in the features. So if we go into advanced features, for example, here's one of them, and we go down to motions and gestures, if we could find that guy. Motion and gestures right there. You're gonna notice that the Galaxy S10 has double tap to wake, which is a very useful feature here on this device. Over here, you don't really have that, but still, you had the fingerprint gesture here because you had a fingerprint sensor on the body itself. So that's a feature that the S9 has that this one doesn't have. There are differences here on both. There's some things the S9 gives you that this doesn't, like an iris scanner, for example, where this gives you a lower security face unlock. And also you get wireless power sharing over here for the Galaxy S10, which is the ability to charge phones and watches on the phone itself. You can't do that for the S9, but the general experience is identical. So you got night modes on both of them. Icons look the same. Everything works about the same. So coming to the S10, if you're on one UI on the S9, it's gonna feel like coming to the same phone when it comes to software, but it will also feel like I got a couple new features, but you also lose a couple of features, like again, the iris scanner. So it's not all upgrade. There's some things you lose as well. They both do have the ability to multitask quite well. Software, I wouldn't say upgrade to the S10 just for software alone because the experience is almost identical. Talking about biometric security, for the Galaxy S9, you do have the fingerprint sensor on the rear, which is very accurate and in a good location. Also, you do have iris scanning up here if you do want to go ahead and do that. I just covered it. Let me do that again. If you go like this, it will look for your eyes right here. I'm not going to do it here because I'm behind camera. Galaxy S10's fingerprint sensor is in the display. So we just go ahead and go like that and it will unlock. Now, sometimes it misses quite a bit. You got to kind of remember where it's at, but once you get it, set up a few fingers, it goes pretty much every time. So the S10 is a little more convenient if you have something like a phone placed on the table and you just go like that. You can get into the device where you'll have to pick up the S9 off the table and then go like that. Now, both of these phones are pretty slippery, so you might drop the S9 if you pick it up off the table versus the S10 if you're doing some work at the desk or something, and then you just go boom, you go right in. So I do like the fingerprint placement on the Galaxy S10, but I miss the iris scanner from the S9. So when it comes to storage, doubling your storage is never a bad thing. You have 64 gigs on the S9, quite small for 2019, but still usable. You have 128 gigs for the S10. I just think the S10 is better value because it gives you 128 gigabytes, but again, you're paying more money, so value is questionable again because you're paying significantly more for an S10 than the S9 started at just to get that 64 extra gigabytes of storage. So when it comes to camera, here's an absolute win for the Galaxy S10. Cameras on the S10, there's triple cameras. There's only a single camera here, variable aperture. Now the main sensor on the S10 has a variable aperture as well, but you also get the wide angles. So if I'm taking a photo, I can click this guy and get a super wide angle. If I punch in a little bit, I go like this, I can go into the standard mode, and then I can go like that to telephoto. So the S10, the smaller one, kind of gives you the plus style features in the smaller phone. Now the camera here for the Galaxy S9 is just a single camera. Now I like single cameras sometimes because they're very simple. I don't got to think about wide angle and all this. It forces me to be more creative. I got to step back and do my own, telephoto. I got to come forward to do my own telephoto. I got to step back to do my own wide angle. So it forces you to be more creative with a single lens, but at the same time, it can be pretty lazy with the S10 because it's all right there and it's more versatile. So I think the camera is a huge update to the S10 in terms of having more cameras. In terms of quality though, not a crazy amount better. I think that the S9 is still very good. Low light's good on both of them. There's not a huge difference in actual quality, but the front camera is a huge difference for the S10, giving you 4K recording abilities as well as dual pixel AF on the front. So yes, the camera overall, if you're looking for a camera upgrade, you definitely want to change from the S9 over to the S10. So let's talk about audio with both of these devices. Now, the Galaxy S9 is going to give you a headphone jack, speaker here, and speaker up at the top. And I actually found the speakers to sound a little bit better on the S10. So you have one down here, you have one up here, and you have a headphone jack. So you don't miss out nothing there, but it was only like a decibel louder or so on the S10. So it's not a massive update in the audio quality, but enough to say, all right, well, I get a little bit of a louder speaker, just slightly, and sounds a little bit better on the S10. So it's enough to say it's a little bit of an upgrade, but I wouldn't pick the S10 just because of audio. Audio is still excellent for the S9, and if you bought one, you're going to be still happy with this phone. But if you come to this phone, you'll be just as happy as you were with this device. So let's talk about battery life. And here's an area where I would absolutely upgrade to the S10. There was nothing really wrong with the battery life of the S9. I was able to stretch a day, but I was really low at the end of the day. I mean like 12%. I was like really looking for a charger. Now at the same usage, a heavy use day, I'm going to get till about 10 o'clock at night or so, and I'll have about 22 to 26% on the Galaxy S10. I think it's a substantial update in battery life, about an hour or so better for 400 milliamp hours better. So 3400 versus a 3000. Screen on time for me was about 4.5, 5 on the Galaxy S9. And then this one's about 5.5, 6. So again, 30 minutes to an hour or so better battery life on the S10, I'll take it. Pricing and conclusion. The S9, because the S10 came out, represents an incredible value. These phones are getting discounted left and right. You can find them under 500 bucks already, and that's a whole lot of phone for that price here in the Galaxy S9. The whole time the S9 was on the market, it never seemed to get that much attention. It wasn't that popular of a device, but at the same time, this device never lagged, never had no issues. So if you're looking for a good phone from Samsung, maybe not the most exciting one, but gives you plenty of flagship features and you don't want to pay, more than 500 bucks, the S10 represents a great option for you. But if you were looking between these two right now, and you got the funds, I would say just go with the S10 because it gives you a much better camera experience and a better battery life experience. And that makes a big difference because those are two important things, your battery life and your camera experience. So that's it for me. Galaxy S9 versus Galaxy S10. Which one do you think is better? Comment your thoughts down below. Did you upgrade from your S9 to your S10? Let us know your experience, maybe how you did it. Did you trade it in? Did you get a deal on it? Help people out in the community to decide what they're gonna do. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to be well and peace.